The mirror technique. Now, I want you to know that the mirror technique is like a shot of NOS of positive psychology. And anyone with a normal human functioning brain, no matter how sensitive they are, no matter how generally self-harming they could be, which is only a small percent of the population, even if you're of that part of the population, so long as you have a normal functioning human brain, this technique, as I said, is like a shot of positive NOS. Okay? And it can be used in a civilian situation. See, it's not particularly used. It's not that you can only use it in an urban survival situation. However, it best serves for survival situations, including an urban survival situation. It best serves when you're in a really fucked up predicament overseas, or whether you've been kidnapped, whether you've just lost your bearings on a hike, or you're in the fucking middle of a battlefield, or you've been parachuted in the middle of fucking nowhere and you've got to dodge the Taliban and things like that. This is a number one technique to master when it's really imperative that you have a positive shot of psychology. A fucking nice shot of positive psychology. It's just at the end of it, it's like, yeah, you just want to take on the world. So it's a good thing that not everybody is familiar with this. Otherwise, people will probably start tweaking. Positive! It's not what we want to have communities full of. So don't think that this is just, yep, I can just go to the mirror right now and start being positive and abusing it. It'll probably be bad for you. It works best, and it should only work when you're in a really bad situation. So, yeah, you can use it in a civilian, in normal civility, normal life as per usual, in other words. Perhaps when you lost your job or something bad's happening, but they're the only circumstances. Generally, in all urban survival situations, it'll come in handy one way or another. I just want you to know that it works especially best in a survival situation. Now, what is the mirror technique? Okay, you're in a fucked up situation. Now, the human brain is a very interesting labyrinth of neurology, neural paths. You can think of them as nodes and lines that connect to nodes, and they all fire at a particular rate and particular pattern. Everyone's neural patterns are unique. There is no single human being on this planet that even remotely has a similar firing pattern. And that's what gives neurologists heaps of joy in studying all day, the uniqueness of the human neural firing pattern and the way your neurology fires, especially under pressure. Now, why I allude to that, or why I mention that, I'm not really alluding to it since I fucking spoke about the whole thing. Why I mention that is because when the normal human being, some people's neurology may be a bit either impaired, special, or unique. Now, with me, for instance, I'm as, not average, I'm as, how do you put it? The person who took my scans, it's not the perfect human brain, but it's exactly how a human brain should be. So, whilst I'm good under pressure and I do a lot of things that most people can't cope with, it's got nothing to do with having an impaired psychology or impaired neurology or some unique neurology. It's just like anyone else's. It's just that I have, you could say, a better user manual. It's that simple. So, in other words, if you're like me, if you're the average person who just has exactly how a human brain should function, then this technique will work for you. For 99.5% of the population, somewhere thereabout, it will work. As I said, I just happen to have perhaps a better user manual when it comes to stress, depression, and all that sort of stuff. I'm a very positive person. I always have been and always will be. This demeanour you see now is the exact demeanour I was born with. Even my reactions, the way if I hear something, is all the same. It never changes. That's because the way I adapt, cope with, and understand stress is at a superior degree, you could say. Again, the user manual analogy. Doesn't mean my brain's vastly superior than yours. We have the same brain. It just means I have better ways of understanding how to cope under pressure. And City Rule, they improve the instances where that's happened. And I'm sure there's someone else who can do even better than me, meaning they've got a better user manual. But you get my point. So what I'm giving you is a part of that user manual so you can cope best when in that really bad situation in urban survival. Also, you can use it elsewhere, as long as you listen to what I said before. Don't abuse it. It's not something that you should take like it's a fucking tablet. It's sort of like a life-changing realization, something you do one off, maybe once every few years. And it's probably something you've never done before. Anyway, the point is, because everyone's human brain is generally the same, though the firing patterns are always unique, hence the common saying, wired differently. Humans, when they're placed under mammoth stress, mammoth pressure, and they sort of buckle under it and don't know what to do, will react opposite to that when presented with something also equally, not degrading, but equally negative if they oppose that negativity. In other words, let me explain that to you in everyday language. Okay, let's just suppose I'm stuck in the middle of a fucking forest in Afghanistan, or in the middle of a desert in Afghanistan. Okay, I've got 20 people surrounding me. They're going to shoot me from every fucking angle, and it's stressful. It's stressful. I might not go home. I might have fucking 5,000 fucking AK bullets in me. It's fucking stressful. So you're going to think, holy Jesus, I'm prepped. I know what to do. I know what to do next. I know what the sequence is. I know what the protocols are. I know all the things I need to do. But I've got about 5 or 10 minutes of downtime, and this is fucking stressful. How the fuck do I get out of this? Because you even though you've got all the protocols in place and the sequences, you've still got to think outside the box. It's not like you just, okay, I'm just going to go with the sequences and protocols. You still got to think outside the box and be very, very fucking clever. You might have to act like a piece of furniture. You might have to wear something that's thermal proof. There might be a whole bunch of stuff you need to do to really get out of that situation. And to do that, you need to calm your psychology. You need to really calm that stress and depression wherever your brain's going. And that works. It's a similar principle when you're in an urban survival situation, except this time the 20 people shooting at you is poverty, so to speak, shooting at you. You not having food, which is like food shooting at you. You get my point? So there are some parallels there you can sort of draw with. And then what you do is you get a mirror. This works if you have a mirror, mind you. You need to have a fucking mirror. And you've got to look directly at it. Or you can use a phone if it's on. So you could use a phone. You've just got to look directly, or you can't, can you? Because if I keep looking at the camera, you've actually got to look directly in your eyes. So you can't use a phone. But a mirror works all the time. So get a reflective surface at least, something that you can see your eyes, your face, and just stare at your eyes. Do not move your eyesight. Just stare at your eyes. Whether it takes a minute, 5 minutes, half an hour, or an hour, you just keep staring at your eyes. You do not move. You look at your eyes dead on. Then you think of every failure in your life, whether you failed exams, or you failed a course, or you dropped out, you were kicked out of the school, you got dumped by a missus, your parents said you were a shit cunt and you can't do anything. Think of all the worst things in your life, things that just have been at the back of your head but you've never really dealt with. Think of them. Think of how ugly those thoughts are. Think of how, not defining, think of how undefining they were. Think of how you got on with life anyway. Think of how those things happened, but shit happens. Just think of all the worst times in your life. It may hurt, even if somebody passed away. Think of all the worst times that have ever happened. Now, the trick is, to this technique, before you even start looking at your eyes, before you even start staring and glaring at your eyes, the whole idea is to have a positive denouement, not negative denouement. The whole idea in doing that is to not get over it, but to contradict it, to defy it. So you're actually instructing your mind before you even start staring that whatever comes into my mind, all the worst stuff in my life, I intend to deny it. Defy it, not deny it. Denying it is the opposite of what you want to do. I intend to defy it. I intend to contradict it. I intend to beat it. That you keep saying that to yourself. Even before you look at yourself in the mirror. That's actually a helpful way of... It's called self-affirmation. It's a helpful way of not grooming. You could say fabricating yourself into the right frame of mind. You just keep on saying, whatever I come to think about in a moment, when I stare at myself in the eyes, I'm going to defy it. I'm going to contradict it. I'm going to overcome it. I'm going to beat it. Just keep saying that to yourself. And then when you're ready, go to the mirror, stare it in the face, and get ready for your brain to unleash the worst in your life that has ever happened. And then just think, I got over all that. I'm still here. It didn't beat me. I am better than this. I'm going to get over everything that has ever happened to me. I've got plans. I've got things to do. I can overcome this fucking shit situation even if I'm dehydrated right now. Even if shit's going to hit the fan. You know what? Even if I die, so be it. At least right now, I can give my best. I'm going to give my best. And you just got to have that mentality. And you've got to keep on saying that to yourself. But while you look yourself in the eyes. Okay? If you start looking away, the technique doesn't work as effectively and it can even fail. But if you keep your eyes on yourself while saying it, I'm not going to say it's 100% hit rate, but it's close to it. It's going to work. As long as you do not move your eyes until all of it is processed, until it's just clicked. And then what happens is, because you've moved your mind away from your current situation, because you've looked at all your shit times in your life and where you are now and how you intend to overcome all that, and you have, or, perhaps the course you failed, you've done a new course and you've passed it anyway, or perhaps you were going through a rough time and weren't even focusing. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're not thinking of your current situation and you're thinking of situations beforehand. And you're saying to yourself, I intend to defy those things. I intend to overcome those things. I am better than those things. I'm going to beat those things. And you just keep saying it to yourself. And then what happens is, as you start to think about your current situation, remember you're still looking at your eyes, you start thinking, fuck, this is my current situation. This current situation is the exam I didn't pass. This current situation is the school I got kicked out of. This current situation is my ex-girlfriend who dumped me. And you know what? I'm going to fucking beat it. And then guess what? If you keep looking at your eyes and you do not move away, unless you do get killed or die or whatever, you're going to overcome the situation. And you just got to keep on looking at your eyes. Eventually, when it clicks, because it will, it's a neural firing, it will just, I fucking realize what I have to do. And you're in a positive mood. There's your positive injection. Don't waste it.